Welcome back to Bespoke Addict. I've got something really quite extraordinary to show you. These are made by the English bespoke company Gane and Company. They were made in 28th of November 1972, and obviously this is the original box. And most extraordinary, if we open it up, so it's still got the original tissue in there. The shoes are completely unworn, crocodile skin, never been worn in 52 years. It's absolutely remarkable. It's just difficult to know what to say about these. They're just so special. Let's just pop that box out of the way. Yeah, they've never been worn. They've just been in that box, wrapped in the tissue, probably in somebody's wardrobe or under a bed, something like that, for 52 years. Now, the skins will be extraordinarily dry. They will be very dehydrated. They look perfect, but it wouldn't be possible just to put these on the feet and wear them without destroying the skins. They will split. So I'll be making a separate video. These will need intensively moisturizing. It will take as long as it takes. It might take a week, it might take a month. I've done lots of videos before, nourishing exotic skins, ancient skins, but usually well used and neglected. This is just basically brand new. They've just not been looked at for 52 years. And they just look perfect, but the skin will have dehydrated. And alligator and crocodile, when it dehydrates, it just splits between the scales and it falls apart like a jigsaw. So even though they look amazing, I can't be sort of fooled into thinking that these won't just totally disintegrate, if not cared for before. So I'll do a separate video showing the process. I'll give them a very, very light wipe with alcohol, get some tight fitting trees in, and I will nourish them slowly and get the skins to absorb and draw the cream in and just keep going back to it and going back to it. And eventually it stops really drawing the cream. It leaves behind like a greasy, sticky surface, and you have to wipe that away. Once it won't absorb anymore, the skins are saturated, and that's as good a chance as you'll get at that point of wearing them without damage. But I would say wearing these just like this with no correct treatment, it would be almost certain to destroy the skins. They would just split. It's strange stuff, alligator and crocodile. It can look perfect like this, but still be very, very dehydrated. To me, the skins look dehydrated due to they're kind of weird. They've got like a glitzy shine on the surface, almost a plasticky shine. And it's all on the surface. There's no depth to this sort of color. There's no depth to the surface of the skin, and that will change. It will, as it takes on the moisture, the skins will be less reflective on the surface, but they will draw the light in much deeper, and a lot more colors will appear. They'll become more iridescent as they take on the nourishment, and the skins will be more fluid. They look a bit blocky and a bit lumpy between the scales. The scales go very flat. As they nourish, these scales will just round off slightly, I think. And they look so close to perfect, but I'm just used to dealing with alligator and crocodile. I'm used to handling it, and these look amazing, but they will look dramatically better once they're thoroughly moisturized, and of course they'll then be safe to wear. But yeah, the more colors will appear. They'll still be dark brown, but they'll have sort of flashes of sort of orange and tan, and different tones will appear as I moisturize these. And of course I'll do the soles too, because that's just leather. And I'll do all of the linings, because once again, it's just leather. And the back of the skins, that won't be so dehydrated. It's regular calf skin. But I'll nourish it anyway, but it will only need a quick lick. It won't take weeks and weeks of feeding, but the crocodile will take a lot of time. So, but yeah, the maker, Gane, they were an English maker based in Windsor, I believe, High Street in Windsor, which is right next to Eton. Their main clients were the Eton School boys, and that's why they were there. And they sort of visited the school, did measurements, did fittings, etc. And then when the boys left the school and go to university, they would then visit them in the university. And then when they sort of in adulthood, wherever they happen to be living and working, they would be, doing the visits. So Gane went out more to visit and for the measurements rather than bring the client to the store. They travelled extensively, and it was a remarkable little business. And I believe it was early to mid 70s. This is 1972, so must have been after then, maybe 73, 74 perhaps. They were taken over. The New and Lingwood bought the company. And in fact, New and Lingwood historically, it was a Miss New and a Mr. Lingwood worked at Gane, the shoemakers. And they just had a big vision that they wanted something else involving, full clothing and shoes. And they set up basically in competition and in the Windsor area. And that was New and Lingwood. And over time, many decades later, they ended up buying this company. So but these were before New and Lingwood took over. I'm just looking at them. I'm just fascinated by their newness, and they even smell utterly brand new. They've got that leather smell that fresh, very, very fresh leather has. But of course, they're 52 years old. They're not new. Right? Anyway, I will make a separate video altogether of the cleaning, careful nourishment and moisturising of this pair and the dry buffing, and we'll watch them sort of just come to life. They look new, but to me they don't look very alive. They look just a bit listless, which they are because the skin's dehydrated. It's a long way to go. It'll be at least 2 weeks, possibly 4 weeks or more, before I can dare risk putting these on my feet. They are just truly amazing. These things are out there. Just got to constantly keep searching. It's an awful long time since I found anything as special as this. Goodness. Anyway, I'll come back to these when they're being just gently cleaned and nourished.